backlash? Okay, let's jump right in. I want to talk about a really important topic around leadership in your med spa. In fact, what I believe to be potentially the single most impactful skill that you can develop as a leader that is going to transform your business, right? And some of you may be thinking that's to be inspiring, maybe charismatic, right? But in fact, it's much simpler than you think. But for so many, it's a challenge, right? And what I'm talking about is being transparent with your team, being very clear in creating clarity around what you are looking for from them. And in order to do that, really being transparent about everything in your business. Why this is so important is because studies have revealed the massive impact this can have on your business. This is not something that I am just going off of feel or maybe a little bit of experience, but study after study has revealed that transparent communication with our team can boost productivity 5x. Boost productivity by 5x, you guys. That's how important transparency and transparent communication really is as a leader in your med spa. Okay, so why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult for leaders to be transparent with our team? And, there's lots of things to unpack here, right? Fear of backlash, fear of negativity, and for all good reasons, right? Because there are a few bad apples that can't handle transparent communication and transparency on what it takes to run a business at the end of the day. Now, me personally, I'm the type of girl, I'm the type of leader for the few that can't handle it, then they're not my diamond girl, right? They're not a good fit, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, I know that as a leader to be transparent and provide the clarity that your team needs is what's in the best interest of the entire business, the entire organization. And you have to be a leader that is willing to have the difficult conversations, make the difficult decisions, and surround yourself and your team with people that share the same core values, share the same things that are important to them, and everyone working towards a common goal. Okay. And being a part of something that is bigger than themselves, right? So, what kind of things is your team looking for you to be transparent about? Let's break that down. Okay. So, of course, first and foremost, one of the things that I see most often that med spa owners don't want to be transparent about is numbers, financials, right? Because they think that if the team knew the financials, that they would just go off and try to do it themselves. That they will just come and ask for a raise. And I actually would challenge you to say that it's the complete opposite that happens when you are transparent about your numbers at the end of the day. Because when you're not transparent, the only numbers that your team sees is gross numbers, right? That how much potential revenue they're generating from whether it's one client or all their clients or for the month or for the year, right? And they don't consider how much it costs to actually run the business, right? What happens when a machine goes down, right? And taxes due and paying for insurance and marketing and the little expenses that add up and the software fees and licensing and it's an expense after expense after expense. And so when you keep that inside, I promise you, your team's actually, their imagination, it runs wild of how they just think that you are like sitting fat and happy on the hill making all this money because you are afraid to talk about all of the numbers. And so, in fact, it's working against you and them thinking that they can do it themselves, that they need you more than you need them or whatever, right? And so if you are more transparent about what it takes to run a business, right? What margins we need to be in every single facet of the med spa and what they contribute to, what they're responsible for, how they can contribute to cost savings or generating more revenue. And then, oh, by the way, what's in it for them when they do, right? And that's a great place to start around transparency, is with financials, right? Because that is really going to help them to put themselves in the owner's shoes, right? And when you do step up, right, when something happens in the business and you still take care of your team, right? Even when maybe you are in the red, they're going to value you so much more. They're going to trust you so much more. They're going to give you their heart, their all, so much more when you treat them as an owner as well, right? And when you have that transparency with them. Another place that is really important for you to be transparent is your interpretation, evaluation of their performance, of their contribution to the team and the culture, where you believe that they are really, shining and providing value, and where you believe they have an opportunity for growth, for themselves personally and for contributing to the team in the business. They want to know those things, right? They don't like things getting so far away that when it builds up and bubbles over, whether for you or them, that they're taken off guard and they're surprised. They'd rather have smaller, more frequent, challenging or difficult conversations than waiting for things to, explode and then feeling like, whoa, this is, completely out of nowhere when you are sitting over here, doing tally marks of being upset or scorekeeping for so long, right? And as leaders, it's so important that we have transparent communication on what we're thinking and what we are feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, right? There are certain things, right, that your team doesn't need to know, that they don't need to be involved in. And it's not, what is that called when decision by committee, right? That's not how you run a business, but you can absolutely, get their thoughts, their feedback, right? And you communicate with them that you value their feedback. And, sometimes and a lot of times we can apply that or use that. And sometimes, we're going to go a different direction, but we always value your opinion and what you have to say. Okay. So let's keep going around this because I'm going to invite one of our consultants in to just share some of the experience around what happens with your team, with your business, when you make a conscious decision to be a transparent leader, to be a transparent communicator at the end of the day, and really just the massive impact that it can have on your business and on your team. So welcome, Abby. Thanks for joining us. This is something that you talk to your clients a lot about. And let's unpack from the beginning, a lot of times, the fear around being transparent, how that's held them back. And then once they got to that other side, what was some of the results that you've seen with our clients once they become transparent communicators?
Yeah, you see it a lot when you kind of first jump into the numbers portion, when we really get into like, let's learn our numbers, but then share it with the team. They're really nervous to share with the team because they think they're scared of their reaction. I mean, I see it every day and I'm not really sure why that is because I know the answer, right? So it's hard for me to see it now because I know the results when you are transparent. But it's just talking off the ledge of, listen, if we're really establishing these clear metrics for everyone, setting goals, looking at our revenue, it will get all the tires going forward, right? Get everybody on the same page. People take ownership a little bit more when they're looking and they understand their numbers. So when we set up, our monthly one-to-ones with our team members, we're reviewing their key metrics. We're setting their baseline and goals for the next quarter. I've seen great success in like literally commission checks have doubled in 1 month, from month to month, just from them knowing their numbers. I've seen med spas make more money than they've ever made in 1 month ever just by understanding their numbers and being transparent with their team and asking them to participate in the journey as opposed to just going, hey guys, we need to make more money. Hey guys, we need more patients. Hey guys, we need more reviews. When we really sit down and we communicate communication, which we know is key, really sets those results apart.
Yeah, too often as business owners or practice managers, we just take it on. We might be like, hey, I need you to make more revenue. I need you to rebook more clients, right? But we don't get into the why. Why is that important? How can you actually, achieve that milestone or hit that KPI or benchmark, or heck, not feel alone as a business owner or a practice manager? I can't tell you, and Abby, I'm sure you would agree with this, right? That, in fact, Juliana, I think, is listening and watching as well, where we were on a call once, and a business owner and her team was on there, and the business owner said that, no one loves my business or cares about my business as much as I do, and I feel like I do everything. And Juliana and I, after that call, we talked, and we were so shocked around that, because to us, there is a whole list of other challenges in the business when that's the type of feedback that a business owner is saying. And from an employee's perspective, to hear the business owner say that, she's like, that would have been crushing. If you would have said that to me, that would have crushed me, because I treat this business like it's my business. I love my clients like it's, my business that I'm working for. And, when they hurt, I hurt, kind of thing. And I always want to do whatever I can to help the business, to help the team, right? And I feel like oftentimes our employees really feel that way, but a lot of times they don't know how. So if we don't ask them, or we don't train them or teach them on the how and the why, then everyone's just frustrated at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I think transparency with expectations. I think, what is my expectation of you as an employee? Whenever you have no expectations, sometimes they even feel like they're on an island. So they don't take that ownership. They don't go above and beyond. They're just showing up. And a lot of times that is just communicating those expectations. Like we were talking, Juliana and I were talking the other day just about the marketing dollars and the amount of effort that, owners they put into this, and then not really having transparency with and their providers, their team members on what is the expectation once that lead is in your chair, right? Look at what we're putting into this. This is the expectation. Here's your pathways. This is what I want you to do, and giving them that training, and setting those guidelines for that as well. So it's transparency with everything, having really strong understanding of what they need, as opposed to just holding it all in and expecting someone to just show up, right? Because for me, you can say, I tell this story all the time, but I have a friend who owns a business, and she never ever tells her employees what they're supposed to do, but she's always complaining that they don't do the things they're supposed to do. And I said to her, well, did you give them a list of things? They should just know. And I'm like, well, that's a problem. So obviously communicating those is really important.
Yeah. So, and first, sometimes we see people that just don't know their numbers, right? And so they can't even communicate that to the why to their team. And then, if they do, they're not taking it to the next step. I mean, how many people have, first done the work to create goals and KPIs, right? And then they stop right there, and they're frustrated at their team for not hitting them month after month. But the only conversation that's had is like, you didn't hit your goal again, right? Well, why? Why? Let's be transparent about why you didn't hit your goal. They don't want to not hit their goal. They like money just like you like money, right? They want a bigger commission or a bonus. They want more hours. Everyone wants the same thing, right? And so as leaders, we can't blame our team. We have to look at our leadership first, right? Juliana, do you have something that you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Abby had said because I think it's extremely important from a marketing perspective that every provider should know how much the owner is spending to get a butt in their chair, right? Because that's going to be the key to unlocking. Are they doing a one-off treatment or are we selling packages here, right? Because if we're doing a one-off treatment, well, they might think it's a win because they did the treatment, right, to a new patient. It's really a loss when they understand the numbers behind how hard it is to get someone in their chair. So
I love that. And here's what that sounds like, right? On average, it costs me $10 a lead and it takes me 5 leads, 10 leads, right? Depending on the service, what in the market, all the things, right? Let's just say 10 to get a person to schedule an appointment with you and a butt in the seat. Okay, so it costs me $100 to just get them in the seat. Now let's look at how much I pay you by the hour and the consumable for you to do that hydrofacial. And I still haven't even, thought of the cost of the machine and wear and tear and the front desk that greets them and the coffee and the tea and the treat and cleaning the room, right? And insurance and electricity. So do you understand now that if they come in and get a one and done $149 or $199 treatment and we never see that patient again, I'm actually in the red, right? So when you literally make it black and white, cut and dry, and share the why behind the expectation when a patient comes in isn't just a one and done off of the front end of what the marketing offer is, but to ascend them and to, here's 3 different pathways that would be considered a win, right? But for them to just come in and get the one and done treatment, we have to have a higher accountability to ourselves, right? As a provider in the consultation and recommending something that, is going to get them the results that they need because no one just needs one hydrofacial treatment, right? So what training, what conversations, what more do we need to do for us to make sure that we're ascending them through the pathway? So that's a simple example of a direct, transparent conversation with your team to provide a lot of clarity. Hey, Ella. Hey, Marley. Hey, Shay. Thanks for joining us. Any questions? Any questions before we begin to wrap? Any other stories, Abby, that you want to share before we wrap up here on the importance of transparency and clarity with our team?
Yeah, no, I could sit here and talk all day about when you're adding that communication pathway with your team members, when you're really giving them their expectations, when they understand the numbers, all of that comes together. It's actually going to give you back more time as an owner as well, because you're going to start to see your team members step up. And I have story after story after story for clinics and med spas that I've worked with. But that's really, truly the first pathway is, make sure that your communication is clear and set so that you can really give them those expectations and give them those goals.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right, let's go ahead and wrap up here. But I just want to thank you so much for joining me and just to kind of bring all of these pieces together. Clarity, transparency, it really can be like your superpower as a leader. Okay. And as a result, it's going to build trust with your team. It's really going to foster them to take action. A common phrase or title that I like to talk about within my team and organization is I have a whole army of what I call intrapreneurs, meaning, yeah, they're not the business owner, but they treat it like it's their own business. Their mindset, their actions, their focus, their results oriented, their growth mindset is if they were an owner at the end of the day. And when you look for that in team members, when you expect that from team members, it's an energy that is contagious in your organization. And it really will drive them to take action and get results at the end of the day. So give it a try. Give it a try, I promise you. And don't let a few bad apples that can't handle transparency and clarity, right? Because at the end of the day, they just might not be your people, and that's okay. So invite your team to the table. Invite them to the table, and I promise you, you will see your numbers grow. You will see people really start stepping up and contributing to the solutions, to the growth of your business, because they want to be a part of something that is bigger than themselves. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us here. If there is a topic or a question, be sure to DM us, message us. We would love to cover it on our weekly Wednesday group coaching call. But otherwise, be sure to catch us back here every single Wednesday, same time, same place. You can catch us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube every Wednesday afternoon. Bye, guys.